Good afternoon, Sherrittsley Baptist Church. Lesley Flett, Office Administrator speaking.
So Lesley, thank you for joining us. We're going to jump right in with some this or that questions just to let people get to know you a little better. So the first one is Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck?
Oh, Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. Cliff Richard or Elvis?
Cliff Richard.
Brilliant. And here's one I've always wondered, an introvert or an extrovert?
Well, I'm not sure you'll believe this one, but I'm actually an introvert.
I would never believe that, because I get the pleasure of working in the office with you. Oh, it's so good. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, first question that I'd love to find out, Lesley, is just how did you come about working for Shed? Could you tell us a little bit of the story about how that happened?
Yep. Well, I was doing creche and bibs. That's the parent, and that was the mums had a Bible study on a Friday, and somebody had mentioned that the lovely Diane was going to be going to do stuff in the cafe, the Fine Piece Cafe, and that maybe there would be somebody else that would maybe do some office stuff. So my background was office and admin, so I volunteered, came to creche in the morning, worked in the afternoon. And that's how 14 years ago I started voluntary, and probably for the last 7 or 8 years it's actually turned into a paid role, which I have to say is an absolute privilege. It's a privilege to work in the office. It's a privilege to work for the church. You know, hard at times, but it is a privilege, and not everybody gets to do that.
Hey, that's so good, isn't it? God's so good that He can be training you up in this kind of work in the background. I didn't know you did that before coming to church, and then He's brought it round again where you can do it in a way that really is serving Him on the ground in church. Yeah, I love that. You said, I think you alluded, sometimes it's not always easy. So my next question is, well, what are the parts that you love? You also said it's a privilege. What part of the jobs do you love, and what parts do you find quite challenging at times?
Well, the parts that I love is I do the finance, and when I was 16 years old I got a job working in an investment company in Glasgow, and that was my job. I had to sort out where all the multi-millions went. And when I was 17 I was the assistant treasurer at Queen's Park Baptist Church, so when it came up that Alec needed a right-hand man or woman, I volunteered for that, and then that was made part of my job, which I just love the finance. I'm number daft, and you'll all know in here I like a receipt.
That's so true.
So yeah, so that's a bit. I mean, there's loads of things that I love. I love people, and I love to be able to talk to people. So when people phone up, you know, sometimes you know them, sometimes you don't. So if it's outside people, then it's a privilege again to speak to them, and sometimes you have to help them to, you know, till I get to pass it on to the pastoral team. And the challenging bits, I suppose, are that sometimes you're really never off duty. You know, and sometimes you come to church on a Sunday morning, but people need stuff. But again, because it's such a privilege to actually work for the church, I can't really complain about that. Nobody would listen.
No. Hey, I love that. Thanks for that. That gives us some sort of insight into what the week kind of looks like for you. But if you were to go through your kind of Monday to Friday, how would you separate it? What kind of duties would you be doing?
Okay, well, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday are working days, and I have the honour of being able to come to work or work at home. So Tuesdays and Fridays would be days when there's more staff in, so I would like to be here either one of these days or 2 of these days, and Thursdays I work at home. So I would do, my working day would be, you know, emails, Church Suite, which is an amazing tool. So if you guys have not gotten on board with Church Suite, get on board.
Get on board,
And then I would do finance, just keep things ticking over. Anything that any of the pastoral team asked me to do, you know, I like to be able to help them. So yeah, I mean, there's never a dull moment. 2 days are never the same.
Wow.
So, you know, it's variety.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Real flexibility in that. Yeah. Almost the last question, second last question, is you've mentioned a few times actually just the privilege of working for a church and being with people. I guess I'm just wondering, how does working here affect your personal relationship with God?
Oh, good question. I think I'm acutely aware that I need to walk in grace. Obviously people need to do that with me as well, but it's a different situation every day. Every time you answer the phone, it's a different thing. And I think it makes me more aware that I need to pray for things a bit more. You know, if somebody, you know, sometimes I have to make instant decisions of who needs to be passed on to who. You know, and then if there's nobody available at that precise moment, I have to speak to people. So I'm kind of trying to do that whole thing of staying close to God on their behalf as well as on my own. So yeah, you have to be very intentional about that. The staff in the office, anybody that walks through the door, you know, I like to think that I would be there for them and that God could use me for them as well. That's
so good. Yeah, so it's not all purely admin. There's a lot of relational stuff. But really, you've got the wisdom and discernment. That's what you're seeking as you're spending your time with God. So it is really a ministry as well, although it's coming through admin. And hey, I love that. Love chatting to you. And last question is really for these guys watching. And that is just, what can we be praying for you in this season, Lesley? Well, in this season, I need the days to be longer, if I'm honest. But I know they won't be. Just that wisdom, that discernment, actually what to say yes and what to say no to. Because there's lots of stuff that I really would love to be involved in. But yeah, just what to say yes and what to say no to, and just to know where I'm heading. That's so good, so good. Lesley, thank you so much, and I'll say it on here as well, thank you for all the cups of teas you're making us and all the extra little things you do. You must have the broadest spectrum in your job title here, but yeah, we just love having you around the office and around during the week and Sundays. So remember Lesley this week, guys, and write some encouraging comments to her if you're on Facebook or any other social media. And we'll be back again soon with other staff members. Bye for now.